Hello and welcome to Tuesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we've got a beautiful looking puzzle to have a look at today by Antiknight. I don't think I've done an Antiknight puzzle for years on the channel. I remember Antiknight as being super clever from back in the day, though. This is called Figure 8. We've had some requests to look at this as well as recommendations. Apparently it is quite difficult, although there's nothing... Oh, there is an anti-night constraint, but there is nothing particularly unusual about any of the rules. I found it on Logic Masters. Let me just show you it here. It's got 5 stars out of 5 for difficulty, so it probably is quite hard. And let's just go down here. And there's a wealth of comments saying it's a great puzzle with a brilliant break-in. So I think we're in for a treat, and I'm very much looking forward to having a go at it. Let me just, before we read the rules together, let me just trot through a couple of things that are going on around the channel. Firstly, thank you so much if you joined us last night for our bumper-long stream in the Blueprints Mansion. It was a very strange stream. I won't spoil it, but I do think if you've followed us on our journey through Blueprints, you probably will enjoy at least parts of the video. So I'll try and remember to put a link to that VOD on the screen now. Next, tomorrow. It is the 1st of April, which not only means it's Rat Run Day, because Marty's got his new Rat Run puzzle coming out tomorrow, and actually we'll have some really cool news around that subject, which I'll talk to you about in tomorrow's video. But also, with it being the 1st of the month, it is Patreon Reward Day. So at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, there is a brand new Sudoku competition starting over on Patreon. It's Sandra&Nala who have constructed, well, lots of fog Sudokus, but other things as well. You're going to absolutely love this collection, and chance to come onto the channel and solve a puzzle. So if that might appeal, do get involved. As I say, 4 p.m. tomorrow is when it will go live, and yeah, enjoy. Now, what else? Birthdays. I've got 2 birthdays to do today. Ian up there in Liverpool, you've turned the big 6-0 today. I know this because your partner Julie wrote to me, and son Daniel, and wanting to wish you a very happy return, or many happy returns. I'm not sure which side of Liverpool you support, Ian. You probably, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll know who I support. You never know if you're doing. You always alienate people, whatever you say. But no, I'm the red part of Liverpool. Haven't been up this season. It's appalling. But Ian, I hope we see a turnaround. Well, I say we. I'm assuming you're on the red side of Liverpool. I hope we see a turnaround in the fortunes under Arne Slot soon. And I hope you have a brilliant birthday today. Many happy returns. I hope I haven't ruined it by telling a blue that a toffee that support Liverpool. But anyway, Ian, many happy returns. I hope the cake is, of course, wonderful. And thank you for watching the channel. I think you all watch, actually, which I'm delighted to hear. And also another birthday for Marlene. Jonas wrote to me. Well, full of incredibly pleasant adjectives about you, saying he cannot imagine a kinder, more grounding or cleverer partner. And he's really excited about your new place together and the turquoise wardrobe. A turquoise wardrobe sounds like something Marty would invent for the rats to visit. And I think last year you had a chocolate decadence, and he's not sure what he's going to make you this year, but it sounds like it's going to be homemade. He asked me to sort of, I don't know, use some sort of telepathic ability to inform him which cake he should make. I think if you know me at all, you'll know what I'm recommending. And Marlene, I hope you have a great birthday today. I think it's 27, isn't it? And I hope that cake is good and very well iced. And that's all the news, I think. So So we have a look at Figure 8 by Antiknight. Let's read the rules of this one together. What have we got to do? We've got, actually, let me just check the recording is working. I'm still a bit paranoid about using OBS for recording, but it does seem to be there. We've got normal Sudoku rules applying, so we're going to have to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Digits must not repeat in cells that are a chess knight's move apart. So whatever that central digit is there, it cannot go into any of those green cells, because a single chess knight's move would take it to one of those green cells. Therefore, none of those green cells can contain the blue digit there. Now, what else? The digits along each arrow must sum to the digit in the circled cell. So so there's only one sum for all the arrows then. So those two add up to that. So if this was 3, this was 4. 3 plus 4 is 7, and we'd write 7 in the middle. Then we'd have to make all those arrows add up to 7 as well. Digits may repeat along an arrow if permitted by other rules. I would have assumed that anyway. So that's just saying we could have double 4 equals 8. Something like that would be fine, and probably is correct. Digits do not repeat. Digits do not repeat along gold Nabner lines. So we've got 4 of those. Additionally, no pair of digits anywhere on a Nabner line can be consecutive. So imagine this digit was a 3. Then not only could none of these digits be 3s, none of them could be 2s, and none of them could be 4s. Nabners are weird creatures, aren't they? They are very strange. If you saw one in the wild, you'd be a bit discombobulated, but thankfully we only have to deal with them penned into Antiknight's Sudoku grid. And digits along each magenta line must be a set of consecutive digits in any order. Okay, so if this digit was a 1, these two digits would have to be 2 and 3 in order to make sure this forms a consecutive set. And they are, I think, there's no scrolling to be done. They are all the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, how are we going to start this? It's actually almost a breathtakingly symmetrical Sudoku, isn't it? If we ignore this purple line at the bottom of column 6, there is 180-degree symmetry, i.e. what I mean by that is, imagine a spindle going through the very centre of the puzzle. You could twist the puzzle round 180 degrees around that spindle and end up with the same puzzle except for this thing here. So somehow that is doing a lot of heavy lifting to break the symmetry, otherwise there would be 2 solutions at least. I mean, 4-cell Nabners are nearly interesting, but they're not quite as interesting as 5-cell Nabners. I think if I was at a party, I might be a 2-cell Nabner. The sort of, the very handsome, good-looking person would be a 5-cell Nabner, because they would have to be 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. That's the only way of making 5 different digits non-consecutive in Sudoku. But what can we say about a 4-cell Nabner? Where could you get into trouble? So 9, 7, 5. Okay, then. So if we sort of cram digits at the top end of the sequence of Sudoku digits, so imagine you've got the Sudoku digits 1 to 9 laid out in front of you, and then we're going to try and make the Nabner as big as possible, or digits on the Nabner as big as possible. We could put 9 on, then we couldn't put 8, then we could put 7 on, then we couldn't put 6, then we could put 5 on, and we couldn't put 4, but we'd have to have one of the digits 1, 2, and 3, wouldn't we, on the Nabner? And then if we reverse that logic and say, okay, let's make a low Nabner, I would have 1, 3, 5, and then one of the digits 7, 8, 9. So actually, there's quite a big difference between the sort of stunningly handsome Nabner and the 4-cell equivalent, because the 4-cell equivalent, it doesn't have a great deal of stress upon it. It has to have a very low digit, and it has to have a very high digit. But when I say a very low digit, I mean a 1, 2, or a 3. I don't mean a 1 or a 2. I just mean a 1, 2, or a 3. And it has to have a 7, 8, or a 9. And then something in between. Okay, so I don't know what's going on. It's not... Antiknight has that weird extension of Fistemafel, doesn't it? Where... Fistemafel is the theorem that says those digits are the... no, this can't be relevant. Sorry, I'll now have started the train of thought. I'll just complete it, but then I don't think it's going to be relevant. There's a theorem in Sudoku that proves the 16 blue digits here are the identical digits to those 16 cells that are green around the central 3x3 box. Now, there is an extension to that, sometimes called the potato head theorem, that says in an Antiknight puzzle, every single digit from the digits 1 to 9 must make at least one appearance in the green ring. Except there could be one missing digit. But if there is a missing digit, it has to go in the middle. But just knowing that most of the digits, because we know nothing about the 2x2s in the corner, or almost nothing. We know those two are consecutive in effect. So I don't think knowing that most of... Sorry, my voice is still giving way a bit. I don't think knowing that most of the digits... Oh, now, in fact, forget Fistemafel for a moment. Oh, that's weird. That middle digit actually can't go in the Fistemafel ring here. It just simply can't. That's weird. So this digit, let's consider which of the Fistemafel cells it could go into if it wanted to. So imagine it's not been invited to the party, but it really wants to go. How could it get into this indigo ring? Well, it can't go in its own column, so it's not in any of those. It can't go a knight's move away from itself, so it's not in any of those. And it can't go on its own arrow, because if it did, imagine that was a 6, and you put 6 here, this would be a 0, and that's not a Sudoku digit. So it can't actually go. It can't go in the ring at all. So it is the digit... It is a digit that doesn't appear in the ring, so then we could use the potato head to tell us that every other digit had to appear in the ring, but even that does not feel very interesting to me. Here's a more... Here's a far more interesting question about the green digit, the central digit of the puzzle. That digit has to make an appearance on all 4 Nabners, I think, because of the knight's move and the sort of arrow things. This green digit, where is it in row 3? Well, we've just said it's not on the Fistemafel ring, so it's not in those cells. Where is it in row 4? Well, it's not in those cells because of the knight's move, and it's not in those cells because it would repeat in box 5. So green is on. Oh, that was really nice. That looks really pretty, but I don't think we can justify. We're not saying all of the cells are green. We're simply saying whatever this digit is, it appears in green. No, it appears on each Nabner, and it only appears on each Nabner once. So let's say it was in those two. Then it wouldn't be in those. It would be in those. It would be in those. It wouldn't be in those. So it would be in these. So it wouldn't be in those. So it would be in these. It couldn't be on the arrow. So if it's there, it's also here. It's there and there and there. And there in column 7. I don't know what that's doing. Oh no, sorry. Okay, don't understand. That I thought maybe we could distill some sort of principle about column 3 or column 7, but that doesn't seem to work. Or if it does work, I'm not seeing it very clearly. So whatever the green digit is, it's going to force things off the Nabners. But oh, there's a no, fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away, waspy. No, no. It's hovering. It's sort of hovering between coming in and going out. No, please don't fly in. It's so distracting when wasps fly in. Oh dear, I'll try and ignore it. What I was going to try and think about was the consecutive digits with the green digit, which can't go. So whatever's consecutive, and even if this is an extreme, even if that's a 9, it would still have a consecutive digit, which would be 8, which couldn't go on any Nabner. But if this was, say, 7, then 6 and 8 couldn't go on either Nabner. So that would mean in row 3, 6 and 8 would have to be in these cells, and in row 4 they'd have to be in these cells. And indeed, in those cells, they'd have to be in the same. Why is my phone? That's Mark. Mark commenting on today's Minute Cryptic, which I've already recorded and then asked him his opinion of. And he's letting me know. That'll go live tomorrow. Okay, so come on. Hang on, I was having a thought, wasn't I? So there's some... Whatever is consecutive with the green digit. Ah. I've had a different thought. Well, this is a row 3, not a row 4 point. But whatever's... Oh, there's something weird about that, isn't there? Because whatever's consecutive with the green digit, here is something I've noticed. I think it's on this Renban in row 3. So let's imagine this digit is an 8. Where are we putting 7 and 9 in row 3? Because 7 and 9, because we know each Nabner now contains an 8, 7 and 9 can't be on the Nabners. So in row 3, where are we putting... In fact, where are we putting the higher one? Let's do that, because the lower one can go on the arrow. So, hang on. Now I've got a different problem. Hang on. Ah, no, hang on. My brain went round that circle and ended up getting bamboozled. I don't understand all of a sudden. So, am I getting confused between the green digit and the digits that are consecutive with the green digits? So, okay, let's imagine this is an 8. I'm going to think about 9 in row 3. Where does it go? It can't go on the arrows because you can't put -1 here. Ah, no, it can go here, can't it? That's the point. Oh, yeah, okay, so I was getting confused. But no, there is something here. This is very confusing and very complicated, but there is something here. I think. Okay, can we do this slowly? So I think I'm going to have to do some pencil marking here because I'm finding it quite difficult to keep this in my head. But this digit is higher than the biggest of those 4 digits, isn't it? Now, if these were as low as we could make them, those digits there would be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this digit is at least a 5 because the 4 would have at least 1 added to it on the tips of the arrows. So this is at least a 5. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Now, unless this is 9, let's leave 9 aside. Unless this is 9, it's a digit that has a higher. It's a digit that has where there exists in the puzzle a higher digit than it, a digit that is 1 higher than it. So that's what I want to think about. Let's make this 7, just for the sake of exposition, because what that means is 7 is now locked onto these, locked onto the Nabners. But regarding the digit 8 now, and it is 8 I want to focus on. It's not 6 because 6 could go on the arrows, but 8 in this row. Yeah, it doesn't work. That's really weird. But it might work with 5 or 6 here, unfortunately, I think. But it doesn't work with 7. This just does not work. Let me explain why. It's because whatever digit is 1 higher than this, where does it go in row 3? It can't go on an arrow that adds up to less than it. So the 8 in this row, in row 3, is in one of those 3 cells, and it's nearly on the Renban. Now, if it was on the Renban, it's dead. It's a dead Renban. Because if 8 is on the Renban, you can't put 7 on it. This middle digit sees those 3 cells. So there would be no way of constructing that Renban if it's got 8 on it. So the 8 has to go here. Now, what that means is weird, because in this row, where is the 8 now? We know it can't be on the Nabners. We know it can't be on the arrows. If this is 8, it can't be in those 2 cells, so it gets plonked onto the Renban again. And the Renban is dead again. So you definitely... Well, okay. So all I'm going to say as a result of that is that I don't think this can be 7, and I don't think it can be 8. Now, I need to think about the others. Why do I need to think about them? Well, it's for this reason. 7 and 8 can be ruled out because the digit that's 1 higher than them is 8 or 9, and you couldn't construct a 3-digit consecutive Renban from the available digits that are higher than them. However, if this is 6, could that be a 7, 8, 9 Renban is my question. And my answer to that is I don't know. I don't know. If it's 6... Unless, okay, here's a different question then. If it is 6, both those Renbans are the same, aren't they? Because the only way of constructing regarding the 7, we've proved the 7's in one of those 3. By symmetry, if we just apply the logic in rows 6 and 7, the 7 would be in one of those 3. So we'd have 2 7, 8, 9 rem bands if this is a 6. Now, does that break for some weird reason? Don't know. Feels like I want to put one of those digits in the middle. Where's that digit go? Yeah, hang on, that doesn't work. Where's that digit in this box? It can't repeat on its own renban, so it could be here. And in fact has to be, doesn't it? Because if the red digit is in one of those 3 cells, we know the red digit has to appear on this renban. So if by Sudoku this red digit is in one of those 3 in box 5, where are you putting it on that renban, given it must go on it? It can't go anywhere. Because if one of these is red, it can't go here. There'd be 2 reds in box 5, and it can't go there, and it can't go there. So that can't be red, so this has to be red. But now I'm going to reverse the logic and say, where's that one? And I'm going to and now the puzzle's in a pickle, isn't it? Because this digit can't be that one. So it has to be over there, and now neither of those can be yellow. So these renbans can't be the same. Whoa. Oh, wait, that's great. That does it. That does it. That must do it. Why does it do it? Well, it's beautiful, actually, isn't it? Because although I said if this is 6, these are 2 7, 8, 9 rem bands, but the point is, if this is 5, it's the same problem, because it's the digit 6 that gets pushed off the Nabners, and the digit 6 that ends up on the rem bands, and so both rem bands become 6, 7, 8. And we've just shown you can't do it. These 2 rem bands cannot be filled with the same digits, and yet they would have to be, because it's the digit that's 1 higher than the central digit that gets pushed off. So in fact, this is weird. So I got to this by thinking about 7 and 8 not being able to go on one of the rem bands, but actually it's a general point. There cannot exist in the puzzle a digit that is higher than the central digit, because if there is such a digit, it gets pushed onto both rem bands, forces both rem bands to have the same composition, and that doesn't work from a Sudoku perspective. And that's ridiculous. So the middle digits are 9. And that presumably does work, because in some backwards world, now 8 is obviously getting pushed off the green thingies. The 9 is now on all the green thingies. Well, 9 is the green digit. It's forced onto all the Nabners. But now 8 can't go on the Nabners. So the thing is, now 8 can go on the arrows. So that feels much less. It feels much worse trying to. I mean, okay, what do we know? We know that we can't have 2, 8, 7, 6 rem bands. That's certainly true. But you wouldn't need to. You've got 2 8s. Well, you've got 2. Well, I've got to put 2 8s in that top bit of indigo and 2 8s in the bottom bit of indigo. Now, how is that in any way difficult? Given, I think, that I can certainly put 8 on the arrows. They would be 8 1 arrows. If you did that, it would be an 8 1 arrow. 8 1 arrow. Why is that tricky? No idea. I've got literally no clue. It must be 8. That must be the restricted digit now. So, is there some... I don't know. I honestly haven't got a clue. I'm not even sure what to look at. Yeah, okay, maybe... Okay, alright, here's one idea. You do have to have at least an 8 on some of the grid furniture there. If we look at those cells, the cells that have something in them from a grid furniture perspective, either an arrow or a Renban, what you can't do is fill those 3 with 2 8s, because they all see each other by Knight's Move or Sudoku. So imagine you made this an 8, you couldn't put an 8 in either of those, and if this is an 8, it sees that one in its row and it sees that one by Knight's Move. So those 3 can only have 1 8, which means that there is definitely an 8. I don't know whether it's on the Renban or not. If it was on the Renban would be 876. Oh, I see. Oh, hang on. Right. I had not seen this at all. This is a... Okay, I hadn't realised this. This Renban looks very innocuous, but actually, I think it's true to say every cell on it sees every one of those cells by the Knight's Move or Sudoku. So that one, let's just look at this one, because that's going to be the same for this one. Then we'll look at this one separately. Let's think about that digit. Now, if I did have... So can the orange digit repeat on an arrow is my question. And it clearly can't be there, or there, or there, or there. Because the Knight's Move takes it there. The rest of them are seen by Sudoku. So the points of the Renban definitely can't repeat. And no, this can't repeat. If that was a digit, it can't go in its row, can't go a Knight's Move away. So actually... Okay, let's just change this. Let's change the shading slightly. So actually... Oh, no, it's not true. It's not what I was about to say. Oh, I got excited. I got overexcited, though. I was about to say that these digits were all different. And that's not true. Well, it's not necessarily true. Because you could repeat. You probably can't for some reason I don't understand. But certainly these 3 digits are not repeated on the arrows. So it would be true to say, and also not repeated in the centre, by the way. That central digit sees the whole of the Renban as well, doesn't it? By Knight's Move. So that digit, and that digit are definitely different from those 2 digits. That is true. But, and I might be wrong about, I'd love to say that they are different from well, these 3 are different from those 2. We've just proved that. However, these 2, I think, might be able to be those 2 in disguise. So imagine this was 2 7. Let's just put that in. If that's 2 7, can that be 2 7? Or not? Don't know. There might be a Nabner reason you can rule that out. There might even be a oh, I don't know actually. That's very confusing. So if you couldn't put 2 or 7 on the Nabner, I'm getting myself in a pickle here. Sorry, it's probably very clear to everyone else, but I'm not sure. Also, there are lots of different ways of making 9, so maybe if I could somehow rule this one out, it wouldn't do me any good anyway. If that's 2, 7 and that's 2, 7, you've got 2 Nabners to make up, both of which have 9 on it, so can't have 8. We've just shown they can't have 7 either, and they can't have 2. So the digits we'd be selecting for the Nabners from would be 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we could only have 2 of the digits. But also, this thing, this Renban, has to have something useful on it. It's got to have a 3-cell sequence that can't involve 2s and 7s. So 3, 4, 5, 6, it would have to have 4 and 5 on it. So you couldn't have... I think you'd have to have 1 on both Renbans. Not, but Renbans, both Nabners, sorry. But both Nabners to make this work. And if you had 1s, then you don't have to have 2s. And that middle thing would have to be... Oh, hang on. I've got to add a different thought now. Maybe the reason you can't repeat is not because of this stuff. Maybe it's because of this row, where it looks to me like 2 and 7, they are forced onto the Nabners. Oh, no, that's not strictly true. They're not both. Wait, are they both? I'm going crazy here. This is really difficult. Where do you put 2 in row 6? Oh, I see. Yeah, you could put 2. I could put 2 on one side and 7 on the other. I don't have to put them both on the same Nabner. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, so maybe that's not such a big deal. Maybe that's not such a big deal. I might be overstating how complicated that is. So these, okay, let's go back to these Nabners. If these were, I know that they've got 9 on. If these have a repeated digit, because hang on, maybe I'm putting my worst foot forward here. If these have to be different, is that worth proving? If I just feel like if I knew all of those digits were different, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's almost an extra region of the puzzle, isn't it? Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay. So this is correct. Well, no, no. Okay. This is interesting, but I don't understand it, which is a bit disconcerting. What I'm going to say is, imagine that these two digits are not the same as these two. Imagine that's the case. Then all of these 8 digits would be different. And it's almost an extra region of the puzzle. But what about that cell? Which of these 8 digits could be this digit? Well, this digit in row 2, column 5 can't be those two. It can't be these two, and it sees by Knight's move all the others. So that would be an extra region of the puzzle. Now, but the thing about that's making me very suspicious, this sort of weird Space Invader shape, is there's no reason to suggest that the bottom of the grid wouldn't also benefit from that shape. And that shape is an 8. And this puzzle is called Figure 8. So there is some, I suspect, reason why those two are not the same as these two. Because if they were, if I could prove, if I knew, if there was some logic that said that those two are not the same as those two, I mean, it's definitely true to say that. I mean, maybe I should highlight this one anyway, because that cannot be repeated in those, for sure. It's the only question is whether these two are actually whether they have to be different. And remember, the only place these two could repeat in Indigo is these two positions. So if I could prove that, I would have an extra region here and an extra region there. So why? This is a very strange way to approach a puzzle, to use the title as a hint to how to do it. Why? Why is it? And so what was the example I was looking at? 2, 7 and 7, 2. Why is that broken? Because I think there's a reason. I think there's a reason that this fails. I just don't know what the reason is. The Renban couldn't have 2 or 7 or 9 on it, so it has to have a 3-cell string. It can't have a 1 on it, therefore. And the 3-cell string is from the digits 3, 4, 5, 6. So the Renban has 4 and 5 on it, for sure. I don't know what that means. I'm afraid I don't know what that means. So the Nabners are... So the Nabners in this instance are selected from 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, aren't they? Because they, in each instance, they can't have 8 on. They've already got 9 on. So they've got a 9 and then 3 other digits that are selected from 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have to pick those such that they are not consecutive. So both of these would have 1 on them. But the only effect of that is to force 2 off them, which we're already expecting if we make these a 2-7 pair. And then each Nabner would have that's clever. Oh, it's not. Oh, it's so clever, isn't it? I'm overcomplicating this, but I'm delighted that I am. You are a Muppet, Simon. World-class Muppet. Ah. I should have gone back to my earlier thought, shouldn't I? I've had my earlier thought now. Boom. I've got it. I've got it. Well, no, I haven't got it, but I've got something, and I've got something simple that disproves 2 sevens. I don't... It might work for the others, I'm not sure, but it definitely disproves that this possibility is impossible, because where are we going to put 8s? That's the question. That's always been the question. Where are 8s going in rows 3 and 4? Now, remember we can't put 8s on the Nabners because they definitely have 9s on them. We definitely can't put 8 on the Renban because it would have to have 7 on it, and it would have to have 7 or 9 on it, and definitely can't. You can't fill it with 3 8s, can you? So 8's not on the Renban. 8 can't go here. Well, I mean, we might not need that, but 8 here. Where's 8 going in row 3? If you did try and make this an 8, you can't put one in because it can't go on the Nabner with the 9. But the fundamental problem is I have to put 2 8s in those 3 cells in rows 3 and 4, and I can't do that. These all see each other, so whichever one I put an 8 in would preclude an 8 from the second and the third positions. So this is not right. Now, can I generalize? That's the big trick. That is the big game in town, because if I can generalize, then I've got a Space Invader shape at the top, and I've got the figure 8 in the grid. So I need to be able to say, and I've done it for 2 7. Let's try it for 1 8. If this was 1 8 and this was 8 1, you see this might work now, because now that does take a bit of the pressure off the Renban, doesn't it? I think. So now the Renban is selected from the digits 2 3 4, 2 3 4, 5 6 7. Well, okay. I can disprove this actually. I can disprove this for a totally different reason. Just let me think about this. I feel like there might be a better reason. I'm going to think about the Nabners. The reason I've come up with for why this can't be 1 8s and 1 8s is that I don't think you can put an 8 in row 6 now. Because I think it's for this 8 takes all the care of all those. That 8 takes care of that. This 8 sees that by Knight's move. So you'd have to put an 8 on a Nabner, which already contains a 9 in row 6. So that's the reason I've thought of. I'm wondering if there's a different reason. So the Nabners would be 2 3 4, 2 3 4, 5 6 7, 2 3 4 5 6 7. So would they have to be? No, they wouldn't. They could be 7 5 and then 3 or 2. Yeah, so okay, so I'm going to use my other reason. So I don't think these can be 1 8 reason. These can't be 1 8 repeaters because that's going to give us a problem with 8 in row 6. Now, we're still not there though, are we? Because what about if these were 3 6 and 3 6? Does that create a problem? Well, hang on, hasn't that got the same problem? Haven't I got the same problem with 8 again? I think I have. Because now, where's 8? Again, I can't put 8 on this Renban because I can't make a 3-cell consecutive sequence that doesn't use 8. Well, if 8's on it, it would have to use 6, wouldn't it? Or 9, and it doesn't. It can't. So 8's not on there, so 8 has to be in those 3 again. And that doesn't work. We've already looked at that. So the only other way that it would work is 4, 5. 4, 5 like that. Now, why do we think that doesn't work? I don't know is the answer. This would be quite hard to fill. It would either have to be 1, 2, 3, or it would have to be 6, 7, 8. So maybe that does work then. Because 8, oh, there's a fly flying in front of me. 8, 7, 6 there would be quite attractive, because then I could pop another 8 into one of those cells and I would get away with things. And what does this do to the Nabners? If you can't put 4 or 5, and they can't have 8 on them, can they? So they can only... Hang on. So the Nabners now, in this situation, let's get rid of that. The Nabners are really constrained, actually, because they can't have 8 on. They've got 9 on. That's one digit they have got on. They haven't got 8 on. They can have one of the digits 6 and 7, but not both, because if you had a 6 and a 7, they are consecutive. So they can only have one of 6 and 7. So they must have the digits 1 and 3, because they've got to have 2 low digits. They can't have 5 or 4 at all. So that both Nabners would have 1 and 3 on them. And now I've got a problem with 2s and 8s. Where am I putting 2s? If both Nabners have 1s and 3s on them, they don't have 2s, which means I have to put 2s into 2 2s into these cells. I can put 1 into that funny triangle thing, which means I have to put a 2 on the Renban. I can't put a 2 on the Renban, because it would have to be 1, 2, 3, because it can't have 4 on it, and it can't be 1, 2, 3, because all the 1s and the 3s have been hypothecated to the Nabner's QED. So that doesn't work. So this doesn't work at all. And that means I've got a spaceship. I've got my Space Invader at the top. I've got that pattern. That is an extra region of the puzzle. And everything I have just said is totally symmetrically available for the bottom part of the grid. So this is a Space Invader as well. Boom. Oh, a terrible, terrible, terrible choice of colour. Let's choose something a bit more. Maybe I should change. Okay, maybe I'm going to get rid of my green. And maybe I'll make this Space Invader green, because that seems to be a lovely colour, doesn't it? That's lovely. So, what does this mean? So I've got an extra region of the puzzle here, and an extra region of the puzzle here. Yeah, okay, that's okay. So that is a very big point, actually, because what we've in effect showed is that there have to be 2 different ways of making these arrows work. And that tells me this Renban can't have an 8 on it again. Although, does that... No, that's fine, isn't it? Because I can put 8 on arrow. I can put an 8 on an arrow. Yeah, here you go. Right, so now... So maybe that's just the question then. So let's just distill the question down. This is an extra region of the puzzle. There cannot be a repeated digit in it. So where is the 8 in it? Now, I don't think this can be 8. We've already sort of thought about that, but that gives me a big problem with 8 in row 3 if this is an 8. Because these can't be 8, those can't be 8 by Knight's move, so I'd have to put an 8 on a Renban with a Nabner, with a 9. They are consecutive, so that's illegal. So that is not 8. Now, if I was to put 8 on the Renban is 8, 7, 6. But because I can't repeat a digit, I now have to come up with 2 ways to add up to 9 without using the digits 8, 7 and 6. There's only one available way, and that's 4, 5. I've used up all ways that there are then. I've got no other way of doing it. So you can't put 8 on the Renban. So you have to put 8 on an arrow. Now that means that one of these arrows is 1, 8, and that obviously applies to the bottom of the grid as well. So there is now a 1, 8 arrow both at the top and the bottom. Now, so if there's a 1, 8, so there is also, because I can't put 8 on the Nabners, there must be an 8 in one of those 3 cells, because there are 2 8s in these 2 rows. And I've just said there's a 1, 8 arrow in the Space Invader, so there must be an 8 in one of those 3. And just exactly one of those cells. And the same is true at the bottom. And then 7. So say that was 1, 8, and then let's say I put 7 on the Renban. The Renban would be 7, 6, 5. What would I... No. 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 I'll say it again. No. Right, it's the same logic. Imagine this was 1, 8. And the only thing to focus on here is the Space Invader. The 8 in the... Not we don't have to think of the bigger 8 that we've elicited out of the puzzle. But the point is that the top of the Space Invader contains no repeated digits. So if I put 7 on the Renban is 7, 6, 5. Now, which 2 digits of what's left am I going to add up to 9? The only digits I've got left are 2, 3 and 4. No 2 of those will add up to 9. So you can't put 7. But maybe that can be 7. Well, no, but... Yeah, maybe that's a 7. I didn't think of that. I was hoping I might be able to prove that that 7 had to be on this arrow. But I've proved it's not on a Renban. I am happy with that. So, can we go any further than that? Probably not. Because I think you can put 6 on a Renban. Providing it, yeah, okay. So the Renban doesn't have 8 on it, and it can't have 7 on it. So the Renban is made up mainly of low digits. 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s. Oh, that's no good at all, is it? Oh dear. Okay. I don't know what to do with this knowledge. Maybe I can say there has to be at least 1, 2, 7 arrow. Because even if I put a 7 here, which is the only place off an arrow I could put it in the top Space Invader. If I put the 7 there, I can't put 7 in the bottom Space Invader here, which would force 7 onto an arrow there. So I think either the top or the bottom has 2 arrows that are made up of 1, 8 and 2, 7 in some order. Which might be interesting. And how's this symmetry getting broken? Because we know the symmetry eventually will be broken by this, don't we? Because nothing else is breaking it. So I know one of these is 1/8. I know one of these is 1/8. Now, I mean, how on earth are you meant to do this? This is so confusing. I've built your figure of 8, Antiknight. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with it. I'm so sorry if this is obvious. Is it obvious? Maybe this isn't the right way to approach it. Maybe I need to be thinking about the Ren bands. Because whatever I put on the Ren band, the other arrow has to be capable of existing, doesn't it? That does feel... It does... Because the Ren band, in each case, in each Space Invader, is selected from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think. And we know the other arrow, the arrow that isn't the 1/8, has to be capable of forming a sequence. So it's also legitimate. Hang on then. Hang on. There is something here, isn't there? I might be wrong about this. What I'm now thinking is that this 3-cell sequence, I know it isn't 5, 6, 7, because then the other arrow, I'm just gonna, let's just make this 1/8, just so that we can think about this clearly, or I can think about it clearly. If this is 1/8, I know this isn't 5, 6, 7, because there's no combination of other digits that would add up to 9. So 5, 6, 7 is not a possible Ren band, which means I can take 7 out. But let's think about whether I could put 2, 3, 4 on this Ren band. Isn't that the same problem? If this was 2, 3, 4, what combination is this having on it to add up to 9? It couldn't be 2, 7, 3, 6, or 4, 5. So it's also not 2, 3, 4. Now that means that the digits on the Ren band in both cases are selected from 3, 4, 5, 6. Both Ren bands now have 4 and 5 on them. That's certain, which means that the other arrow is not 4, 5, the one that isn't the 1/8. Oh, well, it can't be 3, 6, because I must be... Oh, that's it. Oh, that's sick. That's sick. Right, because this Renban is 4, 5, and either 3 or 6, and the either 3 or 6 will be knocked off the arrow that is not 1/8. It couldn't be 3, 6, because you couldn't make this Renban. So the only way of filling the arrows is with 1/8. One of them is 1/8. One of them is 2, 7. The same is true here. 1, 8, 2, 7. And this is going to be the digit that's not... Well, it's not 4 or 5, because 4 or 5 is on this Renban. And this one isn't 4 or 5. So that is a 3, 6 pair. These digits are not 3 and 6, they are 4 and 5. And they're in the central box, they're a 3-6 pair. That's just what they are. So, okay, let's get rid of this. This is a remarkable puzzle, isn't it? It's quite difficult, actually, for me, at least. I apologise if I've been making some of you cross. There might well have been, a way to see this slightly differently, but I think I've got at least some of the points that Antiknight has deliberately baked into this, because I've got this lovely figure 8 thing. Now, what do we do with this, do you think? Haven't got a clue. Haven't got a clue. And how do I actually use this? So in column 5, I've got a 3-6 pair and a 4-5 pair. So the other digits are 1, 2, 7, 8, aren't they? So no, you don't know. I was going to say, could I work out which one of these 1, 2, 7, 8s was that one? But it could be either of those two, so I can't. At least I don't think I can. That digit on the top of the sort of symmetry breaking Renban here, that sees all of 3, 4, 5 and 6. Because of the Knight's move, it sees that one. And remember, these are all different because they're in the Space Invader. So this digit is a lot of different things. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, I think. Which is all very well and good, but... Okay, yeah, but the digit beneath it, this digit is also... Actually, maybe not. No, that is true. This digit has to be consecutive with this one. And this digit here, this digit sees 3 and 6, because in this quadruple, which is a 3, 4, 5, 6 quadruple, the 3 and the 6 are in the bottom 3 cells, which share a box with this. So this can't be 3 or 6. It can't be 4 or 5, because 4 and 5 can't be consecutive with the digit above it. So this is also 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, I think. Which means that this either contains a 2 or an 8, because it must have an even digit. And you can see the only even digits available are, given it's a consecutive pair of digits, it must have an even digit. So it's either 2 with 1. I wonder if we can disprove that. If it's 1, 2, this would be 7, 8. That would be 1, 2. That would be 1, 2. Those would be 7, 8 by maths. It's almost difficult. Or this has got 8 on it. If this has got 8 on it... no, I was going to say well, it's true those couldn't be 8. But it's not true that one of those couldn't be 8. We don't know, do we, how the... Oh, well, maybe what we do know... What about that digit? That's a good digit to look at. Where's that digit? Or what is that digit? Because that sees all of that quadruple up there. So this isn't 3, 4, 5 or 6. So that's also 1, 2, 7, 8 or 9. And now in this column, these digits are that's a quintuple on 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. So that digit is that digit. It must be a 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's not those ones, which means it's that one. So that digit is a 4 or a 5, and it's the same as that one. I don't really want to disturb my colours, so I'm going to use A to tell me that. So this one, yeah, that's lovely. So where is A in the green Space Invader? It's a 4 or a 5. And it's this digit and this digit, so it can only be that one. So that is A. Which means... Oh, yeah. Okay, where is this digit, which I'm going to call B, in box 8? Remember, it can't repeat on its Renban, can't be in its column, can't be a knight's move away from itself, isn't on there because of it doesn't seem to have the option to be, so it's there. So that's B, that's 4 or 5, which, oh, no, that's okay, isn't it? B, B. So B is not the same as A. We can see that from box 5. So B is that one, I think. And I've got a 4-5 pair here. So this one is not 4 or 5. This is 3 or 6. I've got a 3-6 pair. I've got 3 6s all over the place. Might have to... Yeah, I wonder if I have to do the same thing. Maybe with 3s and 6s, look. This one is a 3 or a 6 because it's got 4 5 already on its Renban. So let's just quickly do that for these as well in case it helps. So this is C. We'll make that one D. Now what can we say there? So that one's C. This one's D. This one's D. This one's C. I think I might have just proved 1 equals 1, I'm afraid. 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4. Oh no. Okay, sorry. I think that's not done anything. Bobbins. Bobbins. I've got a 4-5 pair here. I've got a 3-6 pair here. I've got a 3-6 pair here. I've got loads of cells. I think if I was very diligent, I could label them as 1, 2, 7, 8, 9 all over the place, but I don't really fancy doing that, to be honest. I'd rather understand. I don't know. It's actually, it's really tricky to see how... Does it have to be this now? Because what else can I do? That must do something. What does this do? I haven't got a clue. So, okay, let me think this through. So if this is 1 and this is 8, then I know that... Well, what do I know then? I know either that's 1 or 8 or that's 1 or 8. 1, 8. Do I... And I've got... Okay, but I do have to be a bit careful because I mustn't force 8 onto a Nabner ever. Definitely, I can see one way it doesn't work if this is 1, 8. In fact, is that general? Is that a general point? So if this is 1 and this is 8, and I try and put the 1s and the 8s opposite each other around this 9, so that's 1, 8, I'm saying, can that be 1, 8? So if this is 1, 8 and this is 1, 8, it would go 1, well, it could go 8, 1. And then it would go 8, 1 again. So maybe in that version of the world, it's okay. It's... No. tell you what I didn't notice, which is almost a problem, and that's if this is 1 8, you do have to be a bit careful with that thing. I can't. There's something here, isn't there? There's something about positions of 1s and 8s, and perhaps how they relate to that. I can't quite see it, but it's not. Maybe it's just very difficult for this to be 1 8. If that's 1 8 in any order, you can see this cell sees both of these digits. So this cell couldn't be 1 or 8, so it would be 2, 7, or 9. But I think this one could find a partner in that world. I think it could. Famous last words. Okay, I mean, I did see something, so let me just deal with that. If this is 1 and this is 8, what I'm wondering is, can this be the 1 8 pair on the other side of the 9? And in this particular world, I think there is an issue. And that the issue is that this, if we're saying this is the 1 8, it would have to go in this order. But now, where is 8 in row 6? And the answer, I think, is on a Nabner, because this cell sees that one. Can't go there by SUDOKU. So 8 in effect is ruled out of all those cells. So 8 gets pushed onto a Nabner. So that definitely doesn't work. And that's going to be symmetrically true if the 8 is in the internal position of the 1 8 pair on the diagonal. However, what if it was this world? And we try and make it opposite. No, it's still symmetrical, isn't it? It's symmetrical for this. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, Antiknight, that's beautiful. No, I was being very dense and not appreciating the power of the symmetry. Sorry, you can see why this doesn't work. It's the same. I've just flipped the puzzle round. This 8 is still internal. 1 8 is always going to be internal if they're on the diagonals. 1 8 will always be in those two cells. And whichever one that is causing a problem either here or there. Oh, I should have seen that instantly. That's a level of muppetry to which most people can only aspire. Right. Okay. So what that means is that the 1s and the 8s don't go across. They aren't on the crosses. So they're either those. Yeah, that's it. Now the symmetry is going to break. Because right, what was now just proved is that 1 8 are not opposite one another around the 9. So they're not in those positions or in these positions, which means they're either in those two, either all these are 1s and 8s, those ones there, or all these are 1s and 8s. But if all these are 1s and 8s, how are you going to fill this Rembrandt thing at the bottom? It couldn't have 1 or 8 on it. So how are we going to make a pair? 7 and 9 are not consecutive, and 2 isn't consecutive with 7 or 9. You couldn't make it work. So the orange, or the 1 8s, are on that side of the 9, which means that they are there, which means these ones are 2s and 7s. So that takes, well, that's lovely. That's lovely. Look what it does. It takes 2 and 7 out of here, which makes this an 8-9 pair, because they have to be consecutive, which makes these not 8. So this digit is 2 or 7, I was going to say 1, 2, or 7, but there seems to be a 1, 8 pair in its column. So this is 8, 9. That's not 8, 9, look. Or 2, 7. That's a 1. That feels like my first digit in the puzzle, but I have got a 9 already. Just took a very long time to get that digit. So, okay, let's try and work out what that means. Must do something, mustn't it? 2, 7, 8, 9 in these cells. Not 8. because of the 8 in these two cells. So this is a 279 triple. The 9 of which is definitely in that top domino. Wow. Okay. So okay, but I can do better than this. I think relatively straightforwardly. Yeah. Okay. I've still got to put 2 8s into rows 6s and 7s. And we know we're never putting them on the Nabners. And one of them is going on there and then can't repeat in the Space Invader. So I need to put an 8 here. Well, I can't put an 8 there because then I couldn't put an 8 on the 1-8 pair. Or here, which I'm very happy to put an 8 into. So that's the 8. Now that 8 leans in and sees that by Knight's move. So I get two 8s for the price of 1 and a 9. And then I can do the same trick, I think, in rows 3 and 4, where I need to put an 8 effectively into one of those cells, don't I, to prevent putting 2 on the Nabner, or 2 in the Space Invader. This can't be an 8, that can't be an 8, because it would kill off this arrow. So this must be an 8. Now you'd think, well, that 8 does things. That makes this an 8, and this a 1. Which means 1 is in one of 2 places in box 3. 8, no, careful Simon, 8's in one of 2 places in box 4. This 8 gives me a 1-8 here, so that, okay, now that's good. So that's an 8 now. 8 in box 1. I was going to say we know it can't go on the Nabner, but SUDOKU was telling us that anyway. 8 in box... No, oh, hang on. Yeah, where's 8 in box thingy? Here. Thingy being the technical term for box 9. 8's in one of these 3 by SUDOKU. It's not in column 7, and it can't be a Knight's move away from itself. So 8's on the Nabner, and that's lovely. Or not the Nabner, the Remban. Because this can't be 9 by Knight's move, so it's going to be another digit that's consecutive, which is 7, which makes this 2, this 7, this 7, this 2. Oh my goodness, this is so brilliant, this puzzle. It's almost too clever to believe it's so... Oh, where's 7 in box 6? Hang on, is that true? Yeah, 7 is there. I mean, it's almost bizarrely brilliant, isn't it? In my opinion, it is unusually brilliant. I mean, all of the constructors that we feature regularly are brilliant people, but this feels like it's sort of different planet clever. This is the Artemis 2 of SUDOKU. What can we do? Can I do more with 7 somehow? 7 in one of those 2. 7 in one of those 3. Don't think we know which. 7, oh, 7 can't be on that Nabner anymore, which is, we know it can't have 8 on it. So the 3 digits that are not 9 are selected from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They must have 1 of each of those pairs. Oh, that one can't be 4 or 5. No. Don't. Oh, wait. No, it's not even true. don't start spluttering things that are not true, Simon. Oh, that can't be 9 by Knight's move from there. Oh, there could be all sorts of things like that. That's a worry, isn't it? Yes, that is a worry. What about... Where's 1 in box 4? See how that's not, that should be easy to see, and it's not for me. It's there, which means it means that 1 in row 5 is in one of 2 places, but I don't think we know which ones. Row 5 we need 1, 2, 4, 5 actually. Oh, okay, I can do that. Hang on, let me just look at that again. Is that wrong, or I missed 1, 2, 4, and 5? I've got a 3, 6 pair, and I've got a 7, 8, 9. I need 1, 2, 4, and 5. That digit here, this one here, it sees the 4, 5 pair in the middle box by Knight's move, so it's not 4 or 5, and it's not 2, so it's 1. Which means this is 1 in the corner, no song for us. And 1 is placed in box 9 because of the Knight's move. Oh, botheration. I mean, how can that not? Don't think it does. I don't think it does place the final ones. I've got a 1 in one of those and a 1 in one of those. Which is distressing, isn't it? Okay. 2 in box number yeah. This is okay. There's still some symmetry stuff going on, because the same question with 1s over here. If you ask it with 2s for box 6, where's 2? Seems to only have 1 place to go, and that's quite an interesting place, because that 2 is on a Nabner, which stops this Nabner having 1 or 3 on it. I suppose we knew it didn't have 1 on it, but we now know it doesn't have 3 on it. We can only put 1. We could put a 3 there, or we could put a 3 there, or we could put a 3 there and 3 there, possibly. Bother. I don't know then. Oh, hang on. Does this have to have 2 on it? What if it didn't? Because it hasn't got 7 on it. And it hasn't got 8 or... It's got 9. It's got 9, so we need 3 more digits from the digits. And it hasn't got 1 on it, so we need 3 more digits from 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it has to be 2, 4, 6. 2, 3. It has to be 2, 4, 6. How else could it be filled? It's 2, 4, 6, 9. Am I going crazy? I mean, I'm getting a bit tired now, but I think that's true. It can't have 1 on it by Sudoku. It can't pick consecutive digits, so it's 2, 4, 6, and the 2 must go there by Sudoku. So these are 4, 6, 9 in some order. Now, what about that one? Sees 4. I don't know which of these is 4, but they're both looking at that cell. 9. There is a 9 on this Nabner, and it's looking at that cell. So this has come right down. This is 4 or 6. And this is the same, isn't it? I'm so sorry. This is the same Nabner as this one. It's not able to have 1 on it for Sudoku-esque reasons, combined with Knight's move, perhaps, or I may not even need that. So it doesn't have 1 on it. It doesn't have 8 on it. It doesn't have 7 on it. So it's also got to be a 9, 2, 4, 6 Nabner. 9, 2 is already on it. So 4, 6, 9. This is not 9 because of this one. So there's sort of 4, 6, 9 triple in column 8 and a 4, 6, 9 triple in column 9. So column 9, that's not 2, is it? So column 9 needs 3 and 5. Whoopsie. But column 8 needs what? 3, 3, 5, 8 I want to claim. That might be wrong. So that's, hang on a minute. That digit sees a 3 in the row and it sees an 8, so that's a 5 apparently. So this is a 3-8 pair. That makes this cell a 5. And this cell, that's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. That's 3 by SUDOKU. Now, how do these 3s never hit any of the Space Invader 3s? Oh, but that 3 does hit that by Knight's move. So I get a 3 up here, and I get an 8 there. So, oh no, that's okay. I suddenly thought I couldn't put an 8 in box 1, but I think it's all right if that's an 8 right at the very top. So this has got to be, can it be a 9? No, it can't be a 9. You'd knock 9 off the Nabner. So that's got to be a 7. So this is not 7. This is 7. This is not 7. So 7 is in that domino. 7 is in one of those cells. So I'm not going to claim it's not on the Nabner this time. Oh, but that's good. That's good. Because 7 in column 2, look, it's in one of these cells, and they both see that one by the Knight's move. So if this was a 7, you couldn't put 7 in column 2. So that's got to be a 2. So that's 2, 1, 7. 2 at the top of the grid. 9, 7. A bit of SUDOKU for our pleasure. That 9 bumps in there. So there's a 9 in one of these two. So there's a 9 in one of those two. Does this 2 do something? Yes. Where's 2 in row 2? It can't be there, can it? So that's 2. Where's 2 in... No, it doesn't work. I was going to say where's 2 in box 7, but I think it's got 2 places, probably. What about 2 in... Oh, yeah, that's good. Where's 2 in box 4? And this 2 sees that one and that one, so I think 2 has to be there. Which means 2 is in the corner, which means this is 1. Oh, I think we might have known that for some time anyway, but never mind. If I'd approached things in a better order. Now, what do you think we do now? Still can't break into the 4s, 5s, 3s and 6s of the Space Invaders. But I do know there's a 5 in one of those cells. That is something I seem to know. Oh, look at this row. I've got to put 9. I've got to put 9 in this row. I haven't done that. That seems... Oh, that's not right then, is it? Oh no, I've got 9 in it. Thank goodness for that. 4 is missing from the row. It's going to have to go here. It doesn't do it. How does that not do it either? 4 is off this Nabner now. And actually 4's off both Nabners in the left side of the grid. But these ones on the left side have got 1s and 9s on them. So the digits in the middle are much less pressured. This one on the left hasn't got 2 on it. Maybe it has to have 3 on it. If it didn't have 3 on it, how would you make it work? Because then it would be made up of 5. It would have to be from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it would have to be 5, 7, 9. But it doesn't have 7 on it, so it can't be that. So it must have 3 on it. But again, I mean, you say that, and what does that do? Oh, I see, the 3 can't be there. So there's a 3 in one of those two. And that does this one. Right, I'm going to double check that then, because as I was saying it felt right. But it's so critical that if it's wrong, I'll get the puzzle wrong. So I know 1 and 9. I need 2 more non-consecutive digits. There's no 7 on there. There's no 8 on there. So I'm choosing from 6, 5. So I must have one of those. There's no 4 on it. And there's no 2 on it. So it does have 3 on it. The 3 is there, which makes C the digit 6. Which means D is the digit 3. You think that would do something? I mean, 6 now in this box is in this domino, which means it comes out of that cell, which means there's a 6 in one of those 2 digits. Oh, that 6 is looking in there. I didn't see that, so that's 9. Whoopsie, whoopsie. This is 4, this is 6. Don't repeat a digit, so that's 4, that's 6, that's 9. 9 now has to go there by Sudoku. This box needs a 6. That's good. That doesn't seem to be breaking anything. That's got to be 6 using the knight's move. There's got to be a 6 in one of those 2. And in the bottom row, yeah, you've got to put 6 here because of the knight's move stopping it being here, which gets me a 6, knocks 6 off this Nabner. These 2 digits, what are they? 4, 5? And is anything looking... So there's a 4, 5 pair in the bottom row. And that digit's a 9, which means this isn't a 9. So the 9 around that Nabner goes there. That's 9. That's 3. I mean, it's truly remarkable, this, isn't it? Look, there's a 4, 5 pair left to place. And if we put 4 here, well, we can't put 4 there because it would break the Nabner and Sudoku. So 5, 4, 4, 5, 4, 4, something, 5, I think. This column hasn't had a 3, so I should put one in. That's how Sudoku works. This box hasn't had a 3, so I should put one in. Now this Nabner is... It's not... Oh, 7's there. Is it the same as this one or different? I don't know what... Oh, it's actually the same. It's got 1, 3, 5, 9. Look. That's 5, and that... Whoopsie. And that's 5, and that's 4, and that's 4. And the Sudoku felt like it worked there. So I've got hopes this might be correct. Let's see. Yeah. Wow. Wow. That is a brilliant puzzle. Jeepers creepers. Jeepers creepers, Antiknight. Where did you come up with that idea? That was, I mean, how long has that taken me? 1 hour, 40 minutes. Goodness. Well, it felt like a 5-star difficulty puzzle. I don't know. Let me know if I've missed stuff there. But I'm sort of completely wowed by that. I thought it was brilliant. Brilliant conception. Wicked, wicked break of symmetry. And a wonderful, wonderful sort of idea at its core. Amazing. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.